Most VUMATs in ABAQUS Explicit does not fail due to physics, but because fundamentals are misunderstood. This video fixes that.
All right, let's talk about unlocking the full, raw power of ABAQUS using VUMAT subroutines. We're going to go from the fundamental theory all the way to building a high-performance, vectorized model from scratch. Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about why you'd even want to step outside the standard library. Then, I'll give you a simple 4-step blueprint that's going to be our guide. From there, we'll dive into the theory and how to integrate it. Get our hands dirty with some coding for real speed, and see it all click in a plasticity case study. And we'll finish up with a super important developer's checklist to make sure your projects fly. Okay, so let's dive right in. The first big question is, why? Why would you ever need to go beyond the material models that already come with ABAQUS? Well, you can think of the standard library like a locked box. It's got a bunch of great, reliable, but generic models inside. A VUMAT, on the other hand, is the master key. It literally unlocks the solver and gives you the freedom to define any material behavior you can dream up, from proprietary composites to brand new failure models. So where does it actually live in the process? It's pretty cool. The ABAQUS solver chugs along and calculates a strain increment. Then it hits pause and calls your VUMAT. It hands you that strain data and the old stress state, and your job is to calculate the new stress and update everything. You're basically plugging your own custom physics engine right into the heart of the solver. Now, building a good VUMAT isn't some kind of black magic. It's a structured engineering process, and we can break that process down into a really clear, repeatable blueprint. And here it is. This 4-step workflow is the absolute foundation. First, you formulate the physics. Then, you integrate those equations into something a computer can handle. Third, you code the model for performance. And fourth, and you can't skip this, you verify it. Seriously, try to skip a step and you are in for a world of pain. All right, let's start putting that blueprint to work. We'll kick things off with those first 2 steps, building a totally rock-solid theoretical and numerical foundation for our model. You know, one of the first big decisions you have to make is your numerical integration scheme. And it's a classic engineering trade-off, right? Forward Euler is super simple to code, but it's only conditionally stable, meaning your time step can get too big and blow up. Backward Euler is unconditionally stable, it's a tank, but it's way more complex to implement. Another really key concept is the corotational framework. This is something ABAQUS does for you that is just so clever. It handles all the large rotations by passing you the stress and strain tensors already rotated into the element's current orientation. This makes sure your material law is objective. It only cares about true deformation, not if the thing is just spinning through space. Okay, so we've got our theory and numerics locked down. Now for the really fun part, translating all of that into fast, efficient code that can handle huge simulations without taking forever. Understanding the VUMAT interface is absolutely crucial. Think of it like a strict contract. ABAQUS gives you a bunch of read-only inputs, stuff like material properties and the state at the start of the step. Your one job is to provide the write-only outputs, the new stress and the new state variables. Whatever you do, don't modify the inputs. Now, for the secret sauce, the absolute key to performance in VUMAT, it's a concept called vectorisation. And this isn't just a friendly suggestion. This is how you make your code fast enough to be useful on real problems. So, instead of processing material points one by one in a slow, sequential loop, that's the scalar way, vectorization lets you process an entire block of them, maybe 64 or 128 points, all at the same time. This is exactly how modern CPUs are designed to work, and the speed up is just dramatic. And that brings us to the 3 golden rules of vectorization. You gotta live by these. First, everything happens inside the main loop that goes over that block of material points. Second, and this is the big one, you have to avoid branching with if/then statements. They just kill parallelism. The solution? That's our 3rd rule. Use logical masks. Simple 0 or 1 factors to control your logic with ever stopping the flow. Okay, enough theory.
Let's see how all these concepts actually come together in a real practical example. We're going to code up a classic J2 plasticity mole. The physics here is based on the standard von Mises yield surface, and the algorithm we'll use is a classic two-step dance called return mapping. It involves an elastic predictor step followed by a plastic corrector step. So first step is the predictor step. You can see it's all tucked inside that main vectorization loop. We calculate what we call a trial stress. We're basically asking, what would the stress be if we just assume for a second that this whole increment is perfectly elastic? This gives us our starting point. And now for the corrector. This is where all that vectorization stuff pays off big time. Instead of a slow if statement to see if we yielded, we create a logical mask called face yield. If the material yields, this mask becomes 1. If it stays elastic, it's 0. That single variable then just turns the plastic update calculations on or off for each point without ever breaking that beautiful vectorized flow. It is so elegant and so fast. So, how does ABAQUS even know to use this amazing code? Well, the link is made right here in the input file. You use standard commands like *userMaterial to pass in your constants and *dpvar to tell the solver how much memory it needs to set aside for your internal variables. So you did it. You built your VUMAT. It's formulated, integrated, and coded. But hold on. Before you go and unleash this thing on a massive simulation, there are some final checks you absolutely, positively must perform. Trust me, avoiding these 3 common pitfalls will save you countless hours of debugging. There's the data check trap. You have to handle that first call at time 0 correctly. Then there's forgetting the energy balance, which you need to check if your simulation is even valid. And finally, just basic coding hygiene. Keep your code clean and document what you're doing. And now for the most important best practice of them all. Never, and I mean never, run a full model first. Prove your subroutine works on a single element. You need to build a test suite with simple cases, uniaxial loading, pure shear, finite rotation, and check your VUMAT's results against answers you already know are right. So this brings us right to our final checklist. Before you hit run, just ask yourself these 4 questions. Is my theory sound? Is the integration scheme the right one? Is the code truly vectorized? And most importantly, have I verified it with single element tests? If you can check all 4 of those boxes, you are good to go. And that really leaves us with the final, most powerful thought here. VUMAT gives you the incredible freedom to model almost anything you can imagine. But with that freedom comes a non-negotiable responsibility. Complexity is always allowed, but rigorous testing is absolutely mandatory.